In a time when queens were made and broken by the whims of a king and the cry for a male heir could crown or kill, Jane Seymour stepped quietly into history, not with fire or fury, but with grace, patience, and a single devastating triumph. She was the woman who gave King Henry VIII the one thing he most desired, a legitimate son. But in doing so, she paid the ultimate price. This is the tragic, remarkable story of Queen Jane Seymour, the third wife of a king whose love was often as deadly as it was passionate. Jane was born around 1508 into the respected but modestly powerful Seymour family of Wolf Hall in Wiltshire, England. She wasn't dazzling like Anne Boleyn, nor politically sharp like Catherine of Aragon. Jane was known for her modesty, piety, and gentle demeanor. But make no mistake, behind her quiet eyes was a steel resolve. By 1535, Jane was serving as a lady-in-waiting to Queen Anne Boleyn, the second wife of Henry VIII. Anne had risen like a comet, seducing the king and defying a pope, but her failure to provide a living son made her vulnerable. Enter Jane. Where Anne was bold and witty, Jane was soft-spoken and obedient, everything Henry now craved in a queen. She refused to become his mistress, instead offering her hand, and only her hand, if he made her his wife. In May 1536, Anne Boleyn was arrested, tried for adultery and treason, and executed. Just one day later, Henry and Jane were formally betrothed. Within a week, she was Queen of England. Jane took her role seriously. She was conservative, restoring the royal court to its more traditional Catholic customs. She made peace with Mary, Henry's estranged daughter, from his first marriage, a bold and compassionate gesture. But all of this meant little compared to her greatest mission: give the king a son. On October 12, 1537, after 2 days of excruciating labor, Jane gave birth to Edward VI, the long-awaited male heir. Church bells rang across England. Henry wept tears of joy. Jane had succeeded where others had failed. She was hailed as the most beloved of Henry's wives, and for a brief moment, her place in history seemed secure. But fate had another plan. Within 2 weeks, Jane fell gravely ill, likely from postpartum infection, common and deadly in the Tudor era. Despite the best efforts of physicians, she died on October 24th, at only 28 or 29 years old. She had given everything, including her life, to the crown. Henry VIII married 3 more times, but Jane Seymour remained his favorite. He often spoke of her with affection and grief. When he died in 1547, he was buried beside her, at his request, not next to Anne or Catherine or any other. Their son, Edward VI, became king at just 9 years old, but ruled only briefly before dying as a teenager. Jane never lived to see her son grow, never knew her legacy would live on in the fragile flame of a Tudor boy king. Jane Seymour's reign was the shortest of all Henry's wives, just 17 months, but her impact was monumental. She brought peace to a fractured royal family. She gave birth to a Tudor heir. She won the heart of one of history's most dangerous husbands, not with ambition or seduction, but with dignity and quiet strength. She was no schemer, no seductress. She was a rose that bloomed gently and faded far too soon. In the bloody court of Henry VIII, where love was dangerous and crowns were deadly, Jane Seymour stands as a tragic symbol of sacrifice, serenity, and royal devotion.